right, everybody, welcome back to episode, can you believe it, TJ? Episode
What?
20.
20? Oh my lord.
Episode 20.
It's probably
Now,
taking a little bit longer for us to get to 20 than it should have.
oh yeah,
But,
that took the words
we
right out of
got
my
it.
mouth. Yeah, if we were on every single week, if myself and TJ were both still happily unemployed, we would definitely probably be at like episode 25 by now. But we're making it work with the schedule, and we'll see what goes on going forward, because as you guys both know, we're now both fully back to work. It was pretty much a miracle that I was able to get this day off. Maybe less of a miracle and more of a fluke, but it was definitely a fluke that I was able to get this day
How
off.
did you get this day off?
There was a clipboard with shifts up for grab, and I signed up for
Yeah.
all the ones except for Tuesday.
Okay, actually, speaking of work, okay, let's get into this. All right, real quick. So, give us.
Oh,
give
should we
us
introduce
the
ourselves?
audience. Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah. I'm TJ Cornwell, and
I
you
am
are.
Sean Monk.
Okay, sorry. There we go. So let's give a quick summary of your past few days. So you've been at work. How many shifts have you worked so far?
7.
Okay, 7. And of those 7 days, how many times has the power gone out?
Once.
Once. Damn. Okay, that sucks. Okay, but seriously,
Oh man.
in all seriousness, I think you said this to me a few days ago. You said everything that we were worried about with customers is true. So would you like to elaborate on what that is?
Oh yeah. So for those who don't know, as we've talked about many, many times, long-term listeners, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to all the people joining us for the first time, which, by the way, we should also mention, be sure to follow us on our social media pages. Most of it is at Planet Film Pod, which we'll talk about a little bit, in probably just a few minutes, actually. But for long-term listeners, we've been, worried about people with the mask requirements. We spent weeks talking about that with the will they, won't they of the whole thing. Regal just decided to take themselves out of the running in that conversation, and pretty much this entire conversation, because they're still closed. But a lot of stuff. So AMC's official ruling is, you have to have the mask on, not just in the lobby, throughout the entire feature-length presentation, unless you are actively eating concession items. So if you get caught with outside food or drink, no bueno. If you have popcorn in your lap, but you're just sitting there like this, and like a person watches you do it for like 5 minutes, no bueno. You got to put the mask on. I don't really know how you would enforce that, but that's just basically the rule. You're supposed to be actively eating. It's not just a requirement to just have food. And that is the only time you are allowed to have the mask off in the entire building. It goes a little bit further than that, though, because unlike most places, and this, I'm fine with, because it just makes everybody more safe. But I get the this is one that I get the annoyance of the customers. I understand. But me personally, I do feel a little bit safer because of it, which is actually AMC not only decided that they are requiring masks, they actually decided that they are going to be requiring the specific, a very specific type of mask. It has to be the 2 loops over the ears, covering the bridge of the nose, and ending below the chin. So you cannot have neck gaiters, as they're called, which is like one of the ones that like hugs your whole neck and goes down like under your shirt. You can't have one that I was surprised about is you can't have ones with like the ventilation hole or like the circles.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And you can't have obviously any like ripped or torn or broken masks, obviously.
Yeah.
But what was the other one that I was just gonna say? Oh man, I forgot. But you can't have you have to have the specific standard mask. It can't be anything like crazy or weird, because it's going off of the World Health Organization's recommendation for what a mask is. So we've had probably a good amount. I would say maybe in the shifts that I have worked. I've worked the past 7 days straight, but only 4 of them were when we were open. So in the past 4 shifts that I've actually worked while we were open, I've had probably maybe 20 to 25 people that, because I've been working at I've been working at 2 locations since we've been
Yeah.
back as well. So it's a little bit of both here and there. I'm sure if I was always working at our main location, I would have gotten more because there's just more people that go to the main location. But I've gotten probably about 25 people, I would say, that have either had a mask not in compliance, didn't have a mask at all, which is like I'm like, how are you even? What?
Yeah.
Like what are you even doing? Like people
So
like
people have walked in without masks.
Yeah, people trying to do the like pull the hoodie up over the face, and I'm like, no, what? Hello. But out of all those people, I will say, there has only been one, and it was not directed at me, but there has only been one where it resulted kind of in an altercation, which is one of our managers at our main location. She got a little bit of pushback, and the guy was like, you can't tell me what to do. This is a free country, blah, blah, blah. And
oh my God.
Yeah, it was a whole back and forth thing, but
be like, bro, did you not see the sign on the way in?
Yeah, and basically she was like, because we have to write a report at the end of each day. She was like, I basically told him, you'll be accommodated this time, but never again. Basically, just because.
So he left.
So, no, he stayed.
Oh.
She was like, well, we can't. I'm not sure what to do, because the only thing that we can do in that situation is that we do have the authority to call the police. Because at that point they're considered trespassing if they're not in compliance with it. And she was basically like, I didn't really feel like anything was going to change.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain.
Yeah,
well.
like if a police officer even showed up, if anything would actually change was very highly in question. So it's like she just didn't even bother. But yeah, I would say 1 out of 25. I've had about 25 people. This is out of about maybe like we've had probably. I'd say we've probably dealt with like 2,000 customers so far since we've been open. Which for those who aren't familiar with statistics, that's normally like a little bit under what we could do in like one Saturday. And it's been like 5 days. So
yeah.
That gives you a little bit of an idea. But 25 people out of that many is not that bad.
I think Saturday I drove by, I want to say, or no, Sunday I drove by and it looked pretty busy. I think I was driving home from my parents' house and I was like, oh wow, it's looking pretty busy.
It has been crazy busy. That's the thing, is that people don't understand, is that yes, there's limited capacity, but due to all of the financial issues that AMC has been having, we are very short on staff. So it feels like it's just any other regular day. Because we are getting basically just the same amount of people that could show up. It's just, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, we're basically doing like a medium day's business. It's just, that's all we can do, but it's still a medium day business. You know what I mean? It's not like, when you think 25% capacity, when you're saying that that's 25% capacity of 8 auditoriums, that's still a lot of people. That's still hundreds of people around, which those who don't know, around is basically from the beginning of the first show, to the last of the theaters to start. It's basically just like, as when you see like there's like shows around 3:00, then it won't be again until like 6.
Last question for you. More seniors or no, not really?
I would say no, actually. I would say, for the most part, it has been regulars enough that I recognize them.
Be like, oh, hey, I haven't seen you in 8 months.
Yeah, like a lot of A-list people.
Yeah.
Somebody actually yesterday asked me where you were.
Really?
Last night, yeah. They said last night.
You have to tell me when we're live who it was. Let's see if I remember him.
You might. But they were like, where's the fellow? He had the nice beard and the glasses. Where's he? And I was like, who is that? And she was like, younger, maybe around your age. And I was like, oh, yeah, but we'll talk about it later. I was like, who is she talking about?
Oh, he got COVID.
I should have just been like, oh, he's no longer with us, and then walked away.
Oh
man.
The one quick thing I want to complain about real quick. I don't know if you've gotten this update. This is a really long, like, cold open, but who cares? I don't know if you've gotten this in Twitter update. when you retweet now, it takes you straight to quote retweeting instead of giving you the option between the two.
Yes.
Have you noticed that? Why
Yes, I
is
have
that a
noticed
thing?
that.
Why?
I have no idea. Whoa! Oh! We have breaking news.
What?
Do we want to talk
Breaking
about it right
news?
now, or do we want to wait until we actually get into the news?
Let's go break it. Let's just go right into news right now. We'll start off with whatever news you have.
All
for
right,
us.
boom! Breaking news. Let me read it out and let me try to get it up on screen here for you guys.
Okay.
So this is coming from, let me see, Warner Brothers, right? This is Warner Brothers. Yeah.
Wow, so it's official. It's not like a rumor.
Let's say that it's Warner Brothers. Let me see here. Hello. Sorry, I'm just trying to pull it up. The Wrap article is taking a very long time to load. So basically, I'm fairly certain it's Warner Brothers, but it's not really loading. But Lara Croft Tomb Raider starring Alicia Vikander has been indefinitely delayed or canceled or shelved, whatever you want to call it. So it looks like after they were just planning to gear up on production for the second film, it looks like the second film will not be happening at all. What are your thoughts on this? Did you like the first Tomb Raider film, the one with Alicia Vikander? Are you a little bit upset at this? What are your thoughts?
I'll be honest. I'd be lying to you if I said I saw it.
The first one, you mean?
Yes, correct. I haven't seen the Angelina Jolie one either. Is there just one of those, or is there two with her?
There's two.
There's two. Yeah, I haven't seen any of those. I've been like interested in it, but it's never been something I'm like seeking out to watch. I've never played the games either, so that might have something to do with it. I know you were a decently big Tomb Raider fan. I feel like you were trying to get me to play like the most recent game. I want to say it was.
Yeah.
But no, I don't really have any. Maybe I'll probably watch them at some point, but I don't really have a big reaction to this. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I definitely, let me switch over to myself here. And I did have it on, I was able to get the tweet up for you. So as you can see there on screen, it said it's been, officially has been delayed indefinitely. So basically whatever you want to say, canceled, shelved, undated, whatever term you want to use, basically all means the same thing. I actually, surprisingly, I have not seen the, what was it, 2016 or 2017, the Tomb Raider with Alicia Vikander. I have not seen it. But yes, TJ is absolutely correct. I'm a big fan of the game series. When I was doing the gaming on the YouTube channel, I was starting to play through, and on Twitch, I was streaming, I was replaying through Rise of the Tomb Raider on PC. In preparation to play Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which I had not gotten a chance to play yet. But yeah, I am a big fan of the games, of the universe, of the character, but I had not seen the Alicia Vikander version yet because, partially, I was just going to give it a little bit more time because I knew that the sequel was coming out. I'll basically say I'm a little bit bummed out at this. But, delayed indefinitely could mean that it could have the potential to see the light of day again down the line. But at this point, it's been, like I said, that movie was 2017 or 2016, one of those two. It's been a long while since that first one. You wonder how long, you can kind of keep Alicia Vikander on that leash because she is such a big star and stuff. You wonder how long she can kind of wait around for this project to get off the ground, if it ever does, or if it's really even worth her time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would say just pretty bummed out about this news. But funnily enough, kind of in relation to this, a movie that came out right around it, Assassin's Creed, is a story that we're going to talk about a little bit later on in the show. But with that, let's go ahead and kind of roll right into our first official topic of today's show. Which is, again, speaking of theater chains and COVID restrictions and all that stuff, is that Italy is reshuttering all of its cinemas as Europe braces for a second coronavirus lockdown. So very similar to what happened, just under a year ago here, back in January and February in Europe before the coronavirus really took hold over here in the States. Italy was kind of hit the worst. You had a big
Hmm.
spike, obviously in China and then obviously in South Korea. You had two big spikes, but then Italy was really kind of the third one to hit big. Oh, there
Yeah.
we go. Danielle said, "Don't worry, I'm here."
Oh,
Um,
thank the Lord.
yeah, well, Danielle, you just missed the AMC talk, so we'll see here. Um, so Italy was kind of the third place to kind of get hit big with the coronavirus, and it got hit very hard. So it was one of the absolute first markets to start shuttering its movie theaters, start closing up everything, really going into lockdown. And that's something that unfortunately Italy seems to be the kind of the torchbearer for the rest of Europe right now. It kind of seems
Yeah.
like Italy is going to be the first person to start kind of gearing up for the lockdown, as Europe is, unfortunately, inevitably going to have to go into lockdown again. I mean, we can't speak for what's going to happen here in the States, especially with the election coming up. Not really sure what is going to happen. But what are your thoughts on this? Italy going into lockdown again could be a severe precursor to what's going to happen over here. If you just look at what happened last year, it was Italy went, then most of Europe followed, and then us not too long after that. So, we try not to get too political on here, although we do have a little bit of. I would say it's going to be probably more of a political show than we normally do this week, just
Yeah,
due to
I
the film.
honestly was
Mhm.
thinking of that as well, just due to the movie we're
Yeah, due
reviewing.
to the
But
movie that we're reviewing, I
yeah.
think this week's probably going to be a lot more political than normal, but maybe that gives us and, it's the week of the well, the week before the election. So,
Mhm.
um what are your overall thoughts on this? Do you think that uh you know let's just say because we just did that whole political preamble, let's just say if Biden is president, do you think we'll go back into a lockdown? Do you think that's going to be in our future based on this news about Italy? Do you think it's kind of foreshadowing?
Um, I mean, honestly, I think considering we live in New York State, I think it'll probably happen eventually.
Hmm.
Because I feel like you have to remember that the lockdown wasn't really mandated by the federal government.
Yeah.
It was state.
Hmm.
So just because Italy as a country is going on lockdown doesn't necessarily mean the entire United States is going to.
Yeah.
Um, Living in New York, though, I could kind of see it again because I just saw where we live. I thought I saw a headline that said a Monday our average like positive rate or something was 2.6%, which again is probably
Hmm.
higher. Well, obviously higher than anybody would want it to be, but probably higher than I expected because I feel like I haven't really heard that much anymore about any positives around where we live.
Hmm.
I'm probably wrong on that front. It's probably happening all over, uh, but yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Everybody says there's going to be a second wave, even though we're not through the first wave.
Hmm.
What do you think that even looks like? What do you think getting through the first wave looks like? What is it even like? Like all states are open, like that kind of thing. Like
I think.
what is considered to be? Oh, the first wave has passed.
Mhm. I think that if you want to call it that, I think that kind of we are at the tail end of the first wave
Hmm.
right now, because I don't think it's going to be something where we're going to say, "Oh, the first wave's over. Here's some time of regular life," and then
Hmm.
boom, here comes the second wave. I think it's just going to be the first wave is not even going to fully die out, and then we're going to get hit with the second one. Especially in New York State because of how
Yeah.
closely Cuomo is watching the situation and keeping tabs on everything. Um, I think it's probably going to be something where the second wave is going to happen sooner rather than later. And I think it's
Hmm.
going to be something that we are not going to fully come out of. We're not going to have a definitive marker line that brings us out of wave one before wave two
Hmm.
goes in.
Okay.
That's what I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, I kind of get that. Yeah, it's not going to be like okay, end of wave one. Now we're
Yeah.
starting wave two.
Yeah.
It's like it won't be like that.
And then all of this is
Um,
eventually just leading to the Chloe Grace Moretz film, The Fifth Wave, which is going to be
I
in 2023.
Yeah, was that any good? I
I have
remember
no
seeing
idea.
this. I remember having a standee for that next to Alien Covenant. I think it was.
Hmm.
But I never saw it. I think Danielle saw it. I feel like, but yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Let me throw to the live chat because we actually do have some conversation going. And please, everybody, keep it going in the live chat. Let's try to get to where we were last week, which was our biggest show.
Last week was booming.
Last week was booming. We had over 250 messages in the live chat, which was crazy. But let's just read off a few here. Here we have Marin back in the chat from last week. She said, we'll be back to that around Thanksgiving probably. So kind of like, she's kind of thinking like last year, it's kind of, whatever's happened with Italy and Europe, give it a month or two, and then it will probably be, it'll probably be happening around here. Which I could see happening. And then we also have from Shannon, if Biden is president, he won't do a lockdown unless it's totally necessary. I think mandating masks will allow the U.S. to get enough compliance to make contact tracing more effective. That is also very possible, I think. I think that's definitely a good point, is that, regardless of your political leanings, you should listen to scientists. And if we have someone in the White House, whoever that might be, that decides to listen to scientists, I think if we get a very good plan in place, I think that we can make contact tracing and making, kind of compartmentalization of the virus a more effective strategy without having to shutter massive, portions.
This whole conversation kind of leads to... just real quick, I actually watched the documentary last night. Do you remember the A24 trailer I sent you on Twitter about, I don't know, a few weeks ago, where it was like, this film was filmed in secrecy for the entirety of the pandemic so far. Yeah, so I watched it last night because I didn't realize that it was out on Hulu. Whoever tweeted that, a tad misleading, because there's really nothing like secret about the documentary in general. It's not like, secretly videotaping people talking or anything. It's nothing like that. But it doesn't it more gets into, obviously, how the pandemic was fumbled basically by, the government in general. I don't want to even just say like, just one person, because exactly, powers that be. But it was like how we let down our medical professionals. Just like frontline workers more is what I'm talking about. Is just, there's people protesting on the sides of the street saying, we need protective equipment, we need masks, we need gloves, we need scrubs, which is really kind of heartbreaking to see, these people that are trying to do their best to save us. Meanwhile, and we can't even help them.
Meanwhile, the government is paying for taser shields for cops against peaceful protesters.
But that kind of goes into what you said about the science thing, which was kind of what I wrote in my short review is science is fact, and facts don't care about your feelings. So but yeah, just a quick tangent on there, which it was pretty good documentary, but I feel like it came out at this time on purpose, a week before an election.
I don't want to spoil your star rating. Do you want to give your star rating for it?
It was 4 stars. It was more due to the fact that I thought it was also kind of, I don't want to call it like a smear campaign, but it was almost like, it clearly was like, this person fucked up and you shouldn't vote for them. That's basically, again, I already know who I'm voting for, and I already voted. And it wasn't for the guy in the White House now.
But Gary Johnson.
Well, I'm just saying. But yeah,
it was Jill Stein.
That was
wasn't
my
it?
opinion.
It was Jill Stein.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. On to the next.
All right. Just 1 second. Just closing out Twitter. Okay. Boom. Yeah, I'm glad I had my phone on my desk because I would have missed that completely. All right. Jesus.
Oh
I
boy.
can actually reach my cord here. There we go. All right. So our next topic is about, somebody said Kanye. Look at that. No, thank you. Kane Weist. That's who I voted for. Kane Weist. All right. Topic number 2 is going to be about a little film that we might be talking about on the show pretty soon, which is called Borat 2 Subsequent Movie Film, which is one of the many titles, but I would say the main title of the Borat sequel film that came out this week that, as you might have guessed from the title, is going to be our main review for this week that we will get to in the second half of the show. But it's also a couple of our news segments today because, surprisingly, I don't think anybody, including Sacha Baron Cohen, thought in the beginning of 2020 that one of the biggest films of the year would be Borat 2.
Borat 2.
Because I'm fairly certain Sacha Baron Cohen, even though a little bit of spoiler for the film, even though the film makes it seem like they started doing it last year, they definitely started doing it like
it's clear. It's
6 months ago. Like they definitely.
Yeah, I mean, there was people taking pictures of him driving the truck,
like
on Twitter
when we were doing this podcast. Like, the whole there's a scene in it where he's singing, he's like performing at a right wing rally. I remember it was like episode like 4 or 5 of this show that we talked about that. That was just that was just at the end of June. Because it was like Sacha Baron Cohen was spotted in disguise at a right wing rally this week. But anyway, so our first topic about Borat 2 is that without releasing any specific numbers, just like most of these streaming services do, where they don't release specific numbers, Amazon Studios says that Borat has been streamed by tens of millions of Prime customers already. So this is they're just releasing the info on the Prime customers. So this is saying tens of million of Prime accounts. So this is assuming not counting any sort of PVOD actually buying the movie, people without Prime accounts renting the movie. That's assuming that none of that is taken into consideration. So you would think it might be even more than tens of millions altogether.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on that with Borat 2 reaching an audience of tens of millions just within the first 3 days?
I'm not really surprised, especially because I felt like they were building a lot of hype, especially with that Rudy Giuliani scene kind of coming up on Twitter like a few days before the movie was coming out.
Yes, absolutely.
But when did the first one come out? Like 2008 or something? 4? Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or 2006, actually, because it was 14 years ago.
Because it's probably not something people... No, I'd be hard-pressed to find somebody that was like, I want Borat 2. You know, like anybody that was like, we need another one. You know, it was kind of there, and people were like, oh, I remember the first one. It was really funny, and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And they kind of go, we'll get more into this like a little later, but they kind of go like, I feel like a different way with it than they did the first one, where it's not just him. He has like a daughter and everything.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not really surprised considering it comes with Prime. So it's kind of like Netflix, where it's like, you know, they're making these things for you, so you're going to watch it because you already have subscription. Plus, what else do you have to do?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was you could buy it. I thought it was just strictly Prime.
No, yeah, if you don't have Prime, it's one of those where if you don't have Prime, you can still buy it. Kind of like how on Amazon, you can go on there and you can either get CBS All Access through Amazon Prime, or you can pay for the shows individually, that type of thing.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. But no, like I'm not surprised by this at all. Yeah. I wish I knew how, like, tens of millions. Okay, well, can you give me an exact number?
Yeah, exactly. Is it like 10 million and one? You know what I mean? Yeah. Or is it like 90 million people? Like, that's a big difference.
But this is more than what information that Netflix gives us. Netflix is like, a lot of people watched it.
If Borat 2 went to Netflix, they would have just said Borat 2 is the number one Netflix movie ever. That's what they would have. Exactly. That's what they say. Just like Extraction was, just like Project Power was, just like any other Netflix original movie is. They always just say, "Oh my God, it's the most watched movie ever on Netflix." Like that's what they always say. So now we have another story here related to Borat 2. Again, it's called Borat Subsequent Movie Film, which is actually Sacha Baron Cohen himself responding straight up to our Commander-in-Chief, Donald J. Trump, which Trump basically called out Cohen for the film, for the Rudy Giuliani stuff, as well as the Mike Pence stuff and the Trump stuff in it. He basically just said that he didn't find him funny, and he thought that he was a unfunny creep. Basically, is what he said. And so Sacha Baron Cohen took to Twitter, which I will pull up on screen right now, where he says, "Donald, I appreciate the free publicity for Borat. I admit I don't find you funny either, but yet the whole world laughs at you. I'm always looking for people to play racist buffoons, and you'll need a job after January 20th. Let's talk."
Wow, he really went for the throat there. I didn't see the quote. Damn.
Oh yeah. So you see this. What are your thoughts on this? With Sacha Baron Cohen going for the throat on here?
I'm not surprised, especially. Well, I mean, he in the movie he got Rudy. That's Trump's main guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really surprised. He probably would have gone for him even if Rudy wasn't in the movie, because he still got Mike Pence in that whole thing.
Yeah.
Which I must have missed that news story. Apparently that was like a story, and I'd never heard anything about it. That he like ran into that thing.
Yeah.
And it's really funny too if you when he's running around the convention center and all those people are like, what? What is going on?
What is going on here?
Which also that like costume, that looked really realistic. I thought it looked really good.
Well, I sat here because spoiler for the review, but I've watched the second one twice. I watched the first one. Okay. I watched the first one the night that the second one came out, and then as soon as it hit midnight, I watched the second one. And then I watched the second one again the other day. And the first time I watched it, I sat through all the credits just because it was like the music was just funny, and I was just watching. And I love how the credits, like, it comes up in the Kazakhstan language, and then it goes over it in English. And I saw one, and it said Trump prosthetic like handler or maker or something. So it was like it wasn't just a mask; it was like an actual like they like put a film budget like into it, like in all the costumes in Borat
like a prosthetic like budget type thing.
Yes, exactly.
But no, I'm not surprised, and I'm not surprised by his comeback either, because he's just being called a creep is. Nobody wants to be called a creep. Let's be honest.
Well, we have a lot of people in chat saying Trump calling him a creep is very much. We have Pot calling the kettle black.
It's also,
and then it says, love how Trump hates the people that are like him. Yeah, like calling Sacha Baron Cohen a creep for literally making fun of him, like, and not understanding that.
Speaking of this, sorry, did you see that Twitter video? I don't know if you follow Rex Chapman on Twitter.
I might.
I just started following him probably like a few weeks ago. He tweeted this video out of this girl, and she's talking to her parents, and she says she tells her mom and dad that she started dating a guy with multiple sexual like assault allegations or stuff like that. And they're like, why would you date somebody like that? Or like, and saying like, how could you? And then she says like, oh well, apparently he's like racist too, like. And they're like, I don't know about this guy. Like, I don't know if you shouldn't be dating him. And then she goes, well, if somebody with these qualities, you don't let me date them, why would you let somebody run the country that acts like that? And they were like,
gotcha.
They were so like, they're like, oh, you pulled a fast one on us.
You got me. You got me, sweetie. Not again. Pretty much.
Oh my God.
But yeah. I mean, it's just hilarious. Like you get chat has been saying, like, kind of Pot calling the kettle black. Like, I love how he just totally, and Sacha Baron Cohen in the only way he can just totally calls it like it is, and he just goes, I'm always looking for people to play racist buffoons, and you'll need a job after January 20th. Yeah. Let's talk. Like, he just knows, he always knows exactly like what to say to just cut right to it. It's like one of his best comedic gifts. This gifts with a T. All right. So our next story, we're actually going to kind of switch it up a little bit just because I feel like the next story is actually kind of the biggest one. So we'll just do that last. So we'll go with the Assassin's Creed story now that we talked about a little bit earlier when that breaking news with the Tomb Raider movie came out. So this is, let me pull it up on screen here. This is that an Assassin's Creed live-action TV series is in the works at Netflix. This came after a cool little teaser video, which I will see if I can pull that up for you guys, was just kind of a logo reveal. But here we have a quote from Netflix. It says, "We are excited to partner with Ubisoft to bring to life the rich, multi-layered storytelling that Assassin's Creed is beloved for. From its breathtaking historical worlds and massive global appeal as one of the best-selling video game franchises of all time, we are committed to carefully crafting epic and thrilling entertainment based on this distinct IP and provide a deeper dive for fans and our members around the world to enjoy." So with that, while I try to look for that video of the little title reveal, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this versus the TV or versus the movie that we got with Michael Fassbender?
I haven't seen the movie, but I've heard it's awful. As most video game movie adaptations are.
Yeah.
I feel like Sonic and Detective Pikachu are exceptions to that. Sonic being better, I thought, than Detective Pikachu. Or no, I forget which one I thought was better, but still both quality. This is actually, I like this move. Obviously, they've had success with The Witcher, which I'm sure made a hell of a ton of money somehow, some way, because I don't know how Netflix makes money. But yeah, I'm not really surprised. I'm excited to see where they go. Are they going to show Altair's story, who's the first assassin in the first game, and I think that's just the first game. Then you have Ezio and second game, I think, and then Brotherhood. Brotherhood's the only game I've played all the way through, and I loved it. I started the first one, I started the second, I started Odyssey. I've never finished them. But I'm excited to see if they go with just like a separate story, like from the games. Like, you know, like games don't exist in this universe. Like we're just looking at this random person, and I'm interested to see if they just go like, there's no animus, like, you know, type thing that there is in the games. It's just like, here's the assassin in this time period, and here's the story. One thing I do think it would be interesting if they did a type of anthology where it was every season's a different assassin. That'd be cool. I mean, if as long as they can get a cohesive story in about 10 episodes, I'd have to imagine that's what it would be. But yeah, I'm excited. I just hope I haven't seen The Witcher. I've heard it's like good, but it's like sometimes not great, I feel like. But at least with Assassin's Creed, I feel like I have some background knowledge.
Absolutely, yeah. And I was able to get the video up on. So it's basically the Assassin's Creed, you know, the A logo for Assassin's Creed with the Netflix logo inside of it. So that is very, very cool. And basically, it's going to apparently be coming to Netflix. I think. Let me see if they released a year.
I'd have to imagine it'd be a while.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a while because, I mean, who knows even what this budget is going to look like? Who knows how long it's going to take to get it cast? All of that type of stuff. But yeah, you know, we definitely are looking forward to this. You know, I am not as big into these games, you know, as I am into Tomb Raider or as big as TJ is into these games. But yeah, so we are definitely looking forward to this. Hopefully they can do it more justice than the 2016
How long till we get a Mario Brothers live action TV show?
Well, I will tell you, I need one. Live action TV show.
TV show on Netflix. It's gonna go to Netflix. If anybody's gonna adapt a game, it's probably gonna be Netflix.
You don't think it's gonna be an
show
HBO?
wise? Show wise, it's gonna be HBO. Like... No. Oh, okay. Last of Us. Okay, I forgot that was a thing. If that's what you're insinuating, I meant Nintendo. Or okay, they did movies, live action, Nintendo property. I'm trying to think if this has been done already because I feel like it has.
I think
a movie though. Not a movie.
Not a movie.
Like a show.
All right. Because I don't know. I don't know how or when they would want to do a Mario TV show. But what I would say is I think Mario's best chance to hit it big on the big screen
is animated.
I think it's
I mean, I think it is animated too. Live action would be preposterous in my opinion. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, no, but this is my thing is that I think it would have to be it would need to get the Detective Pikachu, the Sonic treatment. It would have to be they would be CG characters from another dimension, another, whatever you want to call it, into our world. Yeah, I mean, they would have to work out the rights, obviously with Sega and Nintendo and stuff. But I mean,
Nintendo would be like, hands off.
The biggest, the absolute biggest. Well, I don't know though, because Sonic was such a smash hit. It's tough to say because Nintendo might need to cash in on some of that to help boost that. So if Sega and Nintendo can kind of get together to work on this, they might be able to get, maybe a Mario in Detective Pikachu 2 or something, or even maybe if they could cross them over with Sonic, make a huge, kind of team up movie. That I think that would be the best play for those characters right now.
What would you think if tomorrow they said Netflix is here to announce that we will be producing a Ratchet and Clank television show or movie? Would you be excited or would you be like, please don't?
So
again, I know if they came out and said Sly Cooper, I'd be like, okay, go for it.
To me, because Ratchet and Clank would have to be animated, I would be excited because I think they proved, at least with the 2016 movie they did, was just kind of like the game but in a movie. Like it was just.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, the remastered game that they did in 2016 came out alongside an actual theatrically released Ratchet and Clank movie.
Oh, wow.
But the movie was basically, or I should say the game was basically just cut up scenes from the movie as cutscenes.
Okay.
So it was kind of like, it was like whatever. It wasn't really much of a movie. But if they could get the original cast back, like the original voice actors to do everyone, I think that would be good. And I think I would definitely prefer a show than a movie, because you could really flesh it out and you could build up big bads. And there's a lot of for Ratchet and Clank fans that are watching, there's a lot of quirky things in it. Oh yeah, Captain Cork. There's a lot of quirky things and a lot of like weird, zany, slapsticky Batman 66 elements to Ratchet and Clank that I think you would have to do in a TV show, because they would just come across as a little bit weird without the context, if they just throw that kind of stuff in a movie. But yeah, so definitely excited to see this. Definitely excited for maybe more. As TJ said, as we brought up the Last of Us coming to HBO, now Assassin's Creed coming to Netflix, give me, some more live action video game movie franchises coming to these streaming services where they can have the time and space to grow and breathe. I think would definitely be good for everything involved. And speaking of streaming services, dun 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 dun, one of the biggest things that we have been waiting on, we've talked about it, we've covered this entire, we have basically covered this entire gamut of all these Disney Plus Marvel shows. We talked about it on the show when they announced, that they're going. These shows are starting to pick up some steam. We were like, all right, we just have to wait and find out who Moon Knight is going to be, who Ms. Marvel's going to be, who She-Hulk is going to be. We found out who She-Hulk was going to be last month, found out Ms. Marvel a couple weeks back, and now we officially have who our Moon Knight is going to be in the MCU, in the future Avengers teams, and in the Moon Knight Disney Plus show. And it is none other than, drum roll please, the, we'll say, third best pilot of the galaxy, Mr. Poe Dameron himself, Oscar Isaac, has been cast as Moon Knight in the Disney Plus original series, Moon Knight. And also, let me pull up his name, because before we went live here, we actually also got the showrunner and the director for this entire series as well. So just 1 second. Let me just pull that up here. While I'm trying to find that, what is your initial thoughts on Moon Knight being cast. So all those Disney Plus shows are officially underway and getting going. And what are your thoughts specifically on Oscar Isaac being cast as the character?
I'm excited. Oscar Isaac, terrific actor, great looking dude. I think you mentioned this to me a few days ago when this was being talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Is that obviously if he's coming back to do a Disney Plus series, clearly that his main gripe, not to go back on Star Wars, but his main gripe with Star Wars in that trilogy wasn't Disney exactly, because I feel like if he had a problem with Disney, he wouldn't be coming back to do this.
Yeah.
I guess coming back, he wouldn't have agreed. Which I feel like this isn't like confirmed yet, right? It's still like kind of a rumor because I've seen
Oscar
like
Isaac, you mean?
yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, it's it has not been confirmed by Marvel Studios. There has not been an official casting
like press release,
but it's as confirmed as anything ever is with Marvel Studios. Like, because my guess is, I mean, example, Shang-Chi wrapped filming this week, and Marvel Studios has officially announced 3 cast members, and the entire movie is done. So it's like they're not gonna release. Spider-Man 3 is filming right now, and we have no cast members announced. The only one that we know is Tom Holland. Like that, you know what I mean? Like that's it.
And Zendaya, she confirmed that she was also in Atlanta or wherever.
Yeah, but that's even them confirming it. That's not even Marvel Studios.
That's
you know what
true.
I mean?
It's
Like,
not like Disney being like, "Oh, they're there."
Yeah, it's not an official announcement, but I think this is definitely. I think you could take your money to the bank that Oscar Isaac is going to be playing Mark Spector in the movies.
Do you like this casting? Are you on board? I assume you are. I mean,
I'm absolutely on board. So I don't know if you remember, we talked about on the show a couple weeks back that they were saying that they are looking to go older for Moon Knight. That they were looking for people, either late 30s or early 40s type.
Because we originally thought Keanu, correct?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And then they said they were looking for a Keanu Reeves type. But then maybe
I never get that when they say, "Oh, what was that one movie that was like Allison Brie type?" Like, why not just cast Allison Brie?
It was no, it was She-Hulk. She-Hulk. They were like the casting pool for She-Hulk said they were looking for a Allison Brie type, and clearly they were because they didn't cast Allison Brie, but they cast somebody like her in Tatiana Maslany. So
wouldn't that be offensive to you if they were like kind of like this actress, but not that actress,
but not
or actor or whatever?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but that's another wrinkle to this. Which let me just wrap up. I'm extremely thrilled at this casting. I think it's fantastic casting. I think Oscar is one of the best actors working. Period. Yeah, absolutely. Period. I think he is one of the best working actors ever. I cannot wait to see this series. I cannot wait to see him jump over to the movies, and I cannot wait to see him interact with the characters that we already know and love. I cannot wait to see go to a big screen movie, go to Avengers 5, and see Oscar Isaac as Mark Spector interacting with Tom Holland Spider-Man and like Carol Danvers. That's going to happen, and that just blows my mind consistently through and through. Also, maybe Florence Pugh might be, coming in here with the new Black Widow.
If we ever get that movie.
Yeah, if Black Widow ever actually comes out. So yeah, I think this casting is great. And like I was saying, somebody mentioned in here that, he played Apocalypse. What are your thoughts on this being Oscar Isaac's third Marvel character? He played Apocalypse in X-Men Apocalypse, and he's also Spider-Man 2099 in
I saw that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so and they already said that he's probably going to be a bigger role as Spider-Man 2099 in Spider-Verse 2. Yeah. So
I think clearly he has Spider-Man 2099 is the one that's like kind of the end credits, right? Or towards the end credits.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of a sign that he has a real affinity to this universe.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of surprising me that he would sign on to do kind of like another franchise. I feel like soon.
Well, that's why I messaged you that I said clearly I think Disney was not the issue. Because if Disney was the issue, he would, because yes, he's signing a contract with Marvel Studios, but he's signing a contract with Disney.
With Disney,
yeah. Like you're going on. Yes, this character is going to be a huge part of the movies as well, but he's going to be introduced on a network called Disney Plus, where all of his Star Wars movies lives, all of his Star Wars content lives.
Maybe we'll have like something. They'll probably put out something. Oh, look at the Oscar Isaac collection, and we have all the 3 Star Wars movies, and we have Moon Knight, and we have.
Actually, yeah, think about that. You might one day, because there's rumors that they're working on getting the Spider-Man movies onto Disney Plus.
Okay.
You might one day be able to go and see all 3 of Oscar Isaac's Marvel characters on Disney Plus. You already can see Apocalypse on there. That's the one that he's got on there right now. You can go watch that. And then this soon. Now, let me throw this to you. Okay. Do you think it's possible, due to all the Spider-Man 3 rumors and people crossing over universes, that this next phase of Marvel is going to be very time travel-y and very dimension hopping, multiverse? What do you think of maybe one day a live action Spider-Man 2099 meeting Moon Knight, both played by Oscar Isaac?
I mean,
because my bet is we are at least going to get 1 degree of separation of that happening. I guarantee you in
the Spider-Verse world and the MCU will collide.
That's what I'm saying. I guarantee you Tom Holland, I mean, this is just a hunch, but I mean, I guarantee Tom Holland is going to be in Spider-Verse 2. There's no, they came so, because they already said they came so close to having him in the first one. They just couldn't get it in. So either way, I think
Sony is like, I want to do this by myself and not, well, I guess they have Tom Holland though. That's true. They do have him.
That's the,
they
that's
have
the thing.
The character.
They're all past that. They don't have to do it by themselves because they have what do I want to say? They have not dual citizenship. What is it called when you have joint custody? They have joint custody.
I feel like Spider-Man. I feel like that could happen, but it would be a long way away. Like you would be
absolutely.
Like another 6, 7, 8 years for that. Maybe probably longer. I don't know. Because I feel like I want to see more of that Spider-Verse world without MCU crossover. I feel like before we get into these live action characters coming into contact with these animated characters.
You know what I just thought of, which I think is gonna be crazy, but I think could happen.
Okay.
Oh my god!
I'll tell you when I'm jumping off the train.
So so this is I'm gonna circle back around. I'm gonna go out, but then I'm gonna come back in. So you remember Family Guy, right? You're familiar with the show.
I do. Yep. Family Guy.
The episodes where Brian and Stewie are multiverse hopping.
Yes.
And the animation style changes, right?
Yes.
What if that happens in Doctor Strange 2 and Multiverse of Madness, and he jumps into the Spider-Verse universe for just a quick second? I mean, they're going crazy. They're talking that Tom Cruise might be Iron Man in that movie. I mean, they're going off the wall crazy. Could you even imagine if he goes through one of his little portals and he steps out and you see an animated Benedict Cumberbatch and he's like,
that'd be wild.
What is going on with my American accent? I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, that would be... I think that would be the most amazing thing ever.
I feel like that budget would skyrocket if that happened. Because you have to animate. I mean, Doctor Strange, I feel like is expensive with all just the effects going on around you.
Yeah.
Now you have to animate the movie.
Well, I just mean for a quick minute.
Yeah. No, I know that. Yeah.
Because we're not gonna get like a scene with Tom Cruise as Iron Man, but like,
no,
if there's there's a scene where literally him and Wanda keep getting maybe both their powers are fucked up or something, and they keep glitching. I think that would be the thing that would make the most sense, is that they keep kind of falling through the multiverse, and
scenes
you could fall into one.
I think would be the equivalent of when Brad Pitt was in Deadpool 2, where it's that's
as quick as I'm talking. That's as quick as I'm talking about. Like I'm talking.
Yeah, it's like, is that Brad Pitt?
I'm talking think not even as long, but think kind of when like Ezra Miller and Grant Gustin's Flash crossed over in the crossover special. Like
I didn't see that, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was like a 3-minute
shot.
scene. I'm not thinking that it's going to be a 3-minute scene. I'm thinking maybe it'll be one of those things where where maybe like he falls, hits the ground, and it gives like the blinking thing, you know, where the camera kind of opens up, and he looks down and he's like animated or something, and he looks around and he sees like Miles or something, or like
that'd be cool.
Or he sees Jake Johnson's Spider-Man. And he's like, "What is going?" And then he goes, and then he like gets sucked down to another one. He
falls to another one.
Yeah, that would. Oh my god, we're going crazy now.
Because I feel like after Endgame, you gotta take it from here to like all the way up here. You know, you've already hit your heights that you've set. You've got to push them way higher now.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think they hit the heights. I think they're gonna go sideways. I think that's what that would be. I think you give me a balls to the wall crazy Doctor Strange 2 that's just doing all this craziness. Like it's called the Multiverse of Madness.
And
it's gotta be called
Sam Raimi directing this thing. We're gonna fall into the Evil Dead universe.
We're gonna
fall. Hey, Bruce Campbell, there he is.
I almost just said if Bruce Campbell is in this film, I'm going to lose it. Bruce Campbell is absolutely going to be in this film in some capacity.
Can you imagine?
But could you imagine if he played Ash in Doctor Strange 2?
Yeah. Can you imagine Doctor Strange falling through these universes and you just land and you look around and you just see like
and there's Willem Dafoe.
Laugh. Exactly. That's what I was just going to say. And you see Willem Dafoe gliding like fast.
Finish it. Shout out to last week.
Oh my god, that'd be crazy.
Shout out to last week.
Oh my lord. You get my hopes up. None of this is going to happen,
man.
but...
Oh, so amazing.
Where is that movie in production anyway? Do we know?
Doctor Strange 2?
Yeah.
It's probably... Benedict Cumberbatch said in the beginning of October that it's going to start filming either this week or next week.
Oh, okay.
He said it's either going to be the last week of October or the first week after that.
Mm-hmm. You put all these ideas in my head now. I'm excited.
Oh my god, dude. I cannot even wait. And then like you said, with Sam Raimi directing, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Because you know how much Sam Raimi loves the character of Doctor Strange. He was name dropped in the Raimi Spider-Man movies. Like, because he was like in Spider-Man 2, he goes, they're trying to think of a name for Doc Ock, and they're in Jameson's like right-hand guy is like Doctor Strange, and he goes, it's great, but it's taken. And he's like, so apparently it exists in there. I have no idea. But yeah, so we are definitely super, super excited, obviously, for this. So with that, let's go ahead and just take a quick break, and then we will be back to close out the show with our review of Borat 2 subsequent movie film. All right, everybody, welcome back. We are back from our break. Let's go ahead and dive right into this. So you guys know how our reviews work at this point. We're going to go through and break down our non-spoiler thoughts of the film, let you know if we recommend seeing it. We're going to give our individual rating of the film based on star rating of 1 to 5. And then we will go ahead and do a spoiler talk for the movie. Now, really, I would say most of our talking is going to be non-spoiler for this. There's maybe, I would say...
I feel like it's not really spoilers.
I would say an actual spoiler, there is one actual spoiler in this movie, because there is kind of a massive twist right at the end of the second Borat movie that we definitely don't want to ruin for you guys. There's one big twist right at the end. But also, just a lot of the laughs and stuff are very funny that we're going to talk about. And I don't want to spoil those for you guys either. So a lot of the specific stuff, we're going to kind of save to talk about. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. And actually, we're going to try something new. I'm just going to play a little bit clip of just the teaser for you. And TJ, do you want to? I know I didn't link it this week, but do you want to just pull up the IMDb, whatever?
Yeah, I pulled it up already.
Okay, perfect.
So can I start?
Yeah, I'm just gonna play this. Okay.
So we're reviewing Borat, subsequent movie film, or also known as Borat, subsequent movie film, delivery of the prodigious bribe to American regime for make benefit once glorious nation of Kazakhstan. Okay. So description: follow-up film to the 2006 comedy centering on the real-life adventures of a fictional Kazakh television journalist named Borat. Directed by Jason Walliner, I believe it is. Writers Sacha Baron Cohen and Anthony Hines. And it stars Sacha Baron Cohen as Borat, obviously. Maria Bakalova, I believe it is, as his daughter, Tutar. And then you have a lot of different cameos. The biggest one, Tom Hanks, who's in it for probably like 2 seconds, not even.
And that's not really much of a. It's not really much of a spoiler.
It's archive. I forgot. Is it like archive footage? It's not even like, because it's not him with Borat.
No, it is. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. But it's literally, folks, don't worry. It's not a spoiler. It's literally 2 seconds of the film. But we'll talk about why he's in it in the spoiler section.
Yeah. So as you pointed out earlier, it was viewed by millions of people. Can you do a Trump millions impression for me?
Millions and millions and millions.
Do you want me to give my first thoughts, or you want to start?
I can. You can go first if you want to.
Okay. So unlike you, I did not rewatch the first one before this.
You had seen it though, right? Yeah,
I have seen it. Yeah. Overall, I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was as good as the first one. I feel like it was lacking in those things that people love about the first one. In all honesty,
maybe
I just
the quotability, you might say.
I feel like something like that. Like there's no my wife, stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's maybe one of those in the entire movie. I feel like
I am excited. I'm excited.
Yeah. I just didn't. And I didn't really. I feel like I didn't laugh that much. I really didn't laugh all that much. I feel like towards the end is when I started to laugh more.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like at the beginning where he's running around to the different clothes shops and stuff like that. Well, those are funny. I didn't find it funny.
Mm-hmm.
More when he's doing I feel like when he gets into more political stuff, I said like him walking, just running into the rally. And sorry. The music performance in the rally, the convention that the Republicans were holding.
Oh yeah.
That when he's dressed up as Trump, and the one woman, the black woman that he knocks on her door, and she's almost like mentoring his daughter. I thought that was funny. I thought that chemistry between her and the daughter was really funny.
She was great in this whole movie because she comes back in a couple times throughout the movie.
Yeah, and well, I thought like that was like I felt like a different way of instead of him just like running around like by himself, it's more him and his daughter, going to these different places and kind of creating all this mischief.
Yeah.
There was a few parts where I was like, I couldn't tell if it was real. Like, when he's in that cabin with those two guys, I was like, this has to be fake. I was like, there's no way this is real. Most of it is because like I don't know. Have they ever said like what they say to these people? Like, because I'm assuming they have to tell them that they're being filmed? Is that a thing they have to do or not? Like afterwards or anything?
After the fact, yeah, after the fact. Yeah,
okay, so like, what do you just be like? Oh, you're gonna be in this movie. Like, I'm surprised more people aren't like
blurred out.
I don't want to be in. Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's the same way. Like, think like it's the same way that Impractical Joker's films. You know what I mean? They just film it and then they ask for
but
forgiveness.
Impractical Jokers, people aren't saying incriminating things on camera.
That's true. That is
because they're just getting messed with. Borat, they're getting messed with, but Sacha Baron Cohen also brings out this thing in people that people might not usually say.
Yeah.
Where, and now if again, like they tell people afterwards, like again they're not filming them without their knowledge, so it's not like. I mean, they are, but afterwards, I'm assuming they tell them, or they tell them beforehand. I don't know, but and they have the right, obviously, probably to say, "Oh, I want my face blurred," because I think there's one part where, they blur a few faces and the guy's on camera or whatever. Well, I did think, like I thought it was funny. I just didn't laugh all that much. The concert again, I thought was probably one of the funniest parts. I thought.
Yeah, definitely.
Just the song and everything, and it's just amazing. Like
it's so terrible
how he gets away with some of this stuff too. And even at the beginning, you see people that are like, "You're Borat," like say blah blah blah, and there's people chasing him down the street, stuff like that, which I thought was funny.
And like I thought it was so funny to not only include that in the movie, but to make that a story point. That like that kind of because I was thinking the second time I watched it, I was like, because before I watched it at all, I was like, well, how does it make any sense for Borat as the character of Borat to be dressing up in all these costumes and doing, you know what I mean, like to be dressing like this and doing American accents and stuff. But I like that they made it a part of the movie, that they were like, well. Because he's Borat. Like, I like that in the universe of Borat, the movie happened. You know what I mean? Like, and he's like a celebrity here. You know what I mean? Like, I love it. I think that's so funny that he's like, everybody's like, I'm playing it right now, just on the screen, that everybody's like Borat, come here, and he's like, it's not me, no, and he's like, like puts a bag over his head, and he's like, I thought maybe it was the gray suit, so he like takes off all of his clothes and stuff. It's just so dumb, but yeah.
Like another part, like when they're in the hospital or not the hospital, I don't even know. It was probably like an OBGYN or something like that. When they're in the office and. He's like, oh,
the pregnancy crisis.
He goes, place. I put baby in her, and he's like, I don't want to hear anymore. He goes, we cannot take the baby out. The baby is already in there. It has a heart. It's beating. He goes, no, it doesn't have a heart.
Yeah, he's like, no, like, it's just this big, and they're like, it doesn't matter how small it is. It has a heartbeat, and he's like, I think it's more.
The more things I didn't find funny were the smaller bits, I guess, like when he's faxing back and forth the country. I didn't find that.
I found it funny, but I wasn't like laughing out loud. I was like, I was just like, okay, that's funny. It went on maybe a little bit too long, but I think that's also kind of the joke is that it's just everything. But then you have the faxing scene, which is like, all right, maybe that drags a little. But then you have the scene where he gets his phone. And it's like
that was funny.
Was so funny.
Yeah.
And he was
and
like,
then he at the end.
Well, that, but also I just lost it at the simplest thing when the guy Brian or whatever, and then Brian comes back later in the movie, which is so freaking funny. But Brian, this guy that sells him the phone, is trying to show him what FaceTime is. And Borat's like in a disguise, but he's like still talking like Borat, and he's like, and he just keeps going, they're FaceTiming, but they're right in front of each other. And every time he speaks in real life, he goes to the phone and he goes, no, I'm listening to him. Please stop.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying. He's like, that is me. It's the same person.
Yeah.
It was just so funny. Cause it's like that poor guy, like I'm sure when he comes back later in the movie, that was probably, they were like, well, let's see if we can get this guy from the phone place back. Like that would be, that was like so freaking funny. Oh my god.
Yeah, overall, like I liked it. I didn't find it as funny as the first, and well, I liked the story too. Like I liked the he's with his daughter, and I just didn't think it held up to as well to the first one.
Okay, yeah, I get that, and so I'll just go. I'll give my kind of thoughts that I haven't touched on, and then we'll give our star rating. To me, I think, maybe aside from the quotability, which I just think the first one, the quotability of it is just, I mean, I still like, I have a chair, go to this, go to that. Like, I mean, that whole movie, you can quote the whole freaking movie. Yeah. It's like, it's all sound biteable. Like, but one thing that I will say is that I think, and somebody just said in the chat just now, which I totally agree with, I think the story in this one is a better story. I think maybe it doesn't have as many laugh out loud moments, but I feel like it's a more thought out, more thorough story than just like I'm going across America to find,
I mean, the first one is really just him wandering around the country.
Yeah, exactly. This one has an actual definitive goal. Like he's trying to get this. It's for make benefit of recently diminished Kazakhstan. Like, I just think I thought it was a little bit less funny than the first one, but I still thought it was very, very good. I just think the funny moments, some of them were not as laugh out loud, but there were definitely laugh out loud moments. Just like the,
and I feel like they were stacked.
Rally, absolutely. I
feel like they were stacked more towards the end too than in the beginning.
The movie definitely, the movie definitely, I would say, kind of ramped, because when it was first announced, it was announced that the it was announced that the title of the movie was to glorious gift to Vice Premier
President
Michael Pence.
Mike Pence.
Yeah. And you kind of think that the whole movie is going to be leading up to Mike Pence, but Mike Pence kind of is in it and is handled in like the first half hour. And then there's a little bit more. Then some of the Giuliani stuff happens, but then the COVID stuff happens, and the coronavirus stuff happens, and then it kind of ends with Giuliani. So it kind of has a little bit of like a lull in the middle, because Borat is literally quarantining, like Sacha Baron Cohen as Borat literally quarantined with these guys, which I'm not sure how long they knew that it wasn't really Borat. You know what I mean? Like, because clearly when he first met these guys that he quarantines with, they thought he was Borat. But I'm guessing at some point they were like, "Hey, you're on a movie," that, because like at some point you see in their house there's like cameras everywhere.
Oh, there's cameras everywhere. Yeah.
So like they had to have been told at some point, listen, this is part of a movie. Just keep, at this point, just keep acting with it and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, which diminishes it a little bit, but I mean, you can't really do.
But once again, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. You can't really you can't win them all. But and then especially the role that they play at the rally when they're like trying to help him with his daughter, like that was clearly like they were like going along with it and stuff. But that rally with the singing was just so freaking funny. And then really from the rally onward, I feel like it is just as laugh out loud funny as the first one. It's just you don't get to that point for like 40 minutes.
I think I'm just thinking like off the top of my head, one of the most egregious things that somebody said in the movie, which I don't know if the person was like I don't know if they were already told they were on camera, was when they were meeting with the plastic surgeon and she said, if my father wasn't here, would you they're talking about men like attacking women.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, if your
You're
father
talking about
wasn't
the doctor?
Here, yeah, I was like, what the I was like, I hope you know, I hope he was told that he was on. If he was told he was on camera already, I would have been like, "What are you saying? Like, are you, you know?" Granted, I don't know. That's the thing with this is like I don't know what's real and what's not. Because there's some element of it that isn't real. You know what I mean? Like, when somebody blurs their face out, I know that's 95%,
it's gotta be real.
certain that's a real person. You know, when somebody's blatantly saying something like that, I take that as, oh, they're acting. Like nobody would ever in their right mind say that on camera before or after.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Unless they're just a sicko. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. But it's just
yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, let's just go to the spoiler talk so that we can talk more specific about some of the movie, and talk about the spoiler at the end of the movie, which I have to tell you guys again, if you want to be spoiled for some of like the comedy and stuff, you can listen on, but there is like a big twist thing right at the end of this movie that I don't want to, and it's interesting because I know TJ, you said you've only seen it once, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
you might have to remind me, honestly.
Oh, okay. Well, so yeah, I might have to, but just watching it again, knowing the twist, it makes so much more sense. The whole movie gets changed, which I think is so funny. But so let's go ahead and give our star rating. First of all, let's just say if we would recommend this movie, would you recommend watching this? Definitely.
I would recommend it. Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely, I would recommend it as well. If you've seen the first one, even if you haven't, they're actually both on Prime. That's how I watched the first one, because they're both right on Amazon Prime, totally free to watch. And they're both only like, I think the first one's 80 minutes and this one's like 90 minutes or like 87 minutes or something like that. So I would definitely watch both of them. They're both definitely worth watching, especially the first and the second one. So do you want to give your star first, or do you want me to give mine?
I'll give mine. I was between 3.5 and 4, but I think I'm gonna go with 4.
And where would, just for the hell of it, where would you put the first one? What would you rate the first one?
Probably like 4.5 to 5.
Okay, yeah. So I'm in exactly the same boat, which is funny because based on the entire discussion we just had, you would think that I liked it way more than TJ, but I guess it just shows the difference of how we rate things, because I also gave it a 4. I would give it a 4 out of 5. And then I would definitely give the first one like a 4 out of 5 or 4.5 or a 5. Definitely. It's definitely up there. But yeah, this one, we're even in the ways that we're saying it's not as good as the first one, it's right underneath it. Like it's it's one of the best comedy sequels of all time. Definitely, I would say. And it's one of the best movies of this year so far. Definitely one of the best comedies of this year. Maybe the best comedy of this year. It's kind of hard to remember what all has come out this year. But I would say so far, in terms of a straight comedy, it's definitely the best one of 2020. But yeah, let's go ahead and get right into spoilers. So for those who haven't seen it, you could stick around if you don't care about spoilers. That's fine. Like I said, there is just one big spoiler for this movie. Let me throw up the spoiler warning on the screen. There we go. So basically, we are in the spoiler warning. It's right there, right there up on top of the screen. And that little graphic right there will go away once we are done. Once we go into our shooting the shit, the final segment of the show. There's probably going to be a pretty quick spoiler section if I had to guess. But let's just get the first one on the way just so I can refresh TJ on it, which it does color the movie completely differently the second time around you watch it. And that's, remember, at the end, you find out that Borat is the one who spreads coronavirus. That's the secret, is that in the beginning of the movie, you get shown when he's being prepped at Kazakhstan to go back out into the world. They say, we're going to inject you with gypsy tears for luck. But then you find out at the end of the movie that was coronavirus, that it was created by the Kazakhstan government and Borat was patient zero. And in the beginning of the movie, you see, he says he originally is going to give a monkey to Michael Pence, Johnny the monkey.
Yeah.
And he says, Johnny arrived right away, but I took 22 days to get there. And you see the little boat, it goes from Kazakhstan down into China, then it goes around into Italy and England and Korea, and then it goes up into New York and then into Texas, which is where he lands. And so you figure out that the entire movie, he is patient zero for coronavirus. And that's why Tom Hanks is in it, because the boat also stops in Australia, and he takes
that's what it was.
He's taking a selfie with Tom Hanks. That's why it's not archival footage, because it's literally Tom Hanks with Sacha Baron Cohen taking the selfie, like as Borat. But that's really the big twist. Or okay, so Michelle in the chat here says, the twist is why I like this one better than the first. I would definitely say, TJ, definitely watch it again with the twist in mind, or like whenever you get around to it, like definitely watch it again with that twist in mind, because it really adds to it. And like, it's just funny because it's like the timing works perfectly, because it's like he spreads it all around, and then by the time he gets to America, like it's starting to spread again. Like, it's just crazy. But what are some more specific points of the movie that you wanted to talk about?
I think just some of like the bits. I feel like we probably have to talk, at least touch on the whole Giuliani, like, not even bit, I guess, because that was like completely real in my opinion. I don't think any of that was fabricated.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I might get like hateful, not even hate. I get like the whole like, well, he was clearly, down his pants, like rubbing his, Bro, I just didn't see it that way. At first glance, because I feel like I had seen the scene already because it was on Twitter. But actually, like watching it, I don't feel like that's like what he was doing. Again, in no way am I like, I'm not a fan of the current administration. Rudy Giuliani did take down the mob and blah, blah, blah. He's still like kind of a shitty person. And, I feel like even in the movie, he's like, when they're doing the fake interview with the daughter, he's like, the Chinese created COVID to take down the United States. Am I misquoting? He does say that, correct?
Yeah. No, he says, says they manufactured it in a lab to take out the like United States, or to take out the power or something, whatever he said.
Yeah. But I just didn't see it as him like touching himself.
Yeah.
I guess which is where I feel like a lot of people took it that way. Don't get me wrong, like the scene was like a little like odd, but I just didn't take it that way. I don't know about you. Do you have anything to say about that? Or
I agree. I would say it's just hard to tell. I think it's one of those things where, that is one of those situations where you got to remember, in that moment, Sacha Baron Cohen is not just the actor playing Borat. He is the producer and writer and, main guy. He didn't direct the film, but this movie is his movie. You know what I mean? Like, he is the line producer. He is the executive producer of the film. He has to keep in mind, yes, we're doing this to get this in the film, but she is literally a young actress playing. Yeah,
how old is she actually?
I'm not sure. I think she's like 19 or 20 or something like that. 21.
Oh, wow. She's younger than I thought. I thought she was older than that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
She was born in 96, so 24.
Okay, 24 then, yeah.
Yeah, June 4th, 1996. So.
Oh, we have the same birthday.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Look at that. What's it called, though? But at that point, I think that's maybe why it only goes that far, is because Sacha runs in as Borat, and he just starts. If you notice, he doesn't break character, but the first thing he yells in a very non-Borat accent is, "She's 15. She's 15. Stop. You know what I mean? Like that's what he yells. He doesn't go like. It's nice. Stop. Like you know what I mean? That's my daughter. Like he doesn't. Yeah. Like he just runs in at full speed and goes, "She's 15. Stop. Like I think it's one of those things where it's like, all right, you gotta kind of cut it before anything really does. I think maybe they didn't think they were gonna get something like that on camera, and they were like,
"Oh no, yeah, I wouldn't think so either." Yeah. Who are his people that? You got to vet these interviews better. These interviewers.
Well, you see, on Twitter, like Borat on Twitter, released a video that his daughter in character got into the White House. She got into the White House, and
she met Donald Trump Jr.
She met Donald Trump Jr. and she got into the White House. And she is an actress playing a fake character.
Yeah.
And she got in on the credentials of her fake character.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, she piggybacked onto OAN, the One America News Network or whatever that Trump loves.
Oh, I saw that video and I thought it was in the movie, and it never showed up. So
I'm just going because I've had this teaser trailer up on my screen like the whole time we've been talking. There is a lot of stuff in this teaser trailer that is not in the movie. So I'm very interested to see not a lot, I would say, but I'm very interested to see a director's cut or something. There's this scene here where he has his daughter strapped to the roof and he gets pulled over.
I remember that, yeah.
And he gets pulled over.
Jeez.
There's a scene here where he's like, maybe it was the day in the movie. There's, I'm not going to spoil it because there's really no point in just give it. It's not going to add anything to the review, so I'll just let you guys watch it in the movie. But there's something that he has to get money for. In the movie, he has to get like $70 and he only has like 12 hours to do it or something. So I'm guessing that's where this is from, that he's like working with a golf, at like a golfing range or something. Like he's working at like a golf range. I'm guessing it's from that section of the movie where he's trying to make money. Like when he's working all the little odd jobs and stuff, but like that, there's nothing with the golfing instructors in the movie.
Do you think in the budget for the movie there was like a legal portion?
Oh, I'm sure. Absolutely. I'm sure.
If we need to bail out Mr. Cohen and, I always forget her name. Mr. Cohen and Mrs.
Just like Maria, you could just say, I guess.
Maria,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Is there something in the budget that, how much money goes into that? Because I guess you're you're going in blind. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a ton of insurance on this production.
How much did it sell for again? Do you know? Did they say?
To Amazon?
How much Amazon bought it for?
I just wish that we lived in an alternate reality where this movie could have come out in theaters just to see how much it made. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How much did the first one make? If you can check that, it's not too much trouble. It might take a minute, but no, overall, like I really liked it. Again, like I said earlier, just kind of fell short. I think hands down, maybe before Giuliani, the best scenes are at the what's it called? At the rally. What's his singer's name again? Farmer Bob or something like that? It's like Farmer Joe or
no, it's like
something like
something Steve. It's like Southern Steve or something. And he goes, "Are you Southern Steve?" And he goes, "You bet your ass I am."
Like so that was funny. One of the parts that I just found hilarious. And yeah, like you said, those guys that are
God.
What? The first one?
Also, okay, I thought it was crazy. Okay, are we done with spoilers for a second? I think we're
done with spoilers. There's not really, like you said, there's not really spoilers.
Yeah. Okay, so let me take off. All right, spoiler warning is gone. It's off the screen. There's a little bit more that I just want to talk about here, which I thought I was a little bit crazy to say. I think this movie is definitely worthy of some Oscars of some kind. Like I would say definitely maybe for Sasha for writing, for maybe even acting, and definitely Maria as the daughter for some of the stuff that she had to do in this movie. She definitely deserves to be recognized by the Academy, and I thought that was crazy. But I just looked here, and the first film was nominated for adapted screenplay at the Oscars. Borat is an Oscar-nominated film, and not for like a technical category. Like it was nominated for the writing, and the thing that I said, "Holy shit!" to was you asked me how much the first movie made.
Yeah.
On a budget of $18 million, the original Borat to this date has grossed a whopping. Give me a guess. What do you think? How many million?
300.
Very close. Very close. $262.5 million on an $18 million budget. That is
That's a lot.
That is crazy. Yeah. I'm still trying to see here
and
how
first
much
one,
Amazon
sorry,
acquired it for.
correction, real quick earlier. First one came out in 2006. I think you said 4 earlier.
Oh, okay, 2006. Okay, yeah.
But and I didn't. Oh, I also heard that, or I heard today. I didn't know he played Bruno. I never seen it, but I had also seen like trailers and stuff of it. I didn't know. Have you ever seen Bruno?
Yeah, you didn't know that was Sacha Baron Cohen?
No, I didn't.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh my god. Is it like the same type of thing? Except he's like a gay Austrian. It says
it's like
gay
kind of the same
Bruno.
stuff. It's kind of like the same stuff where he like interviewed like Dick Cheney and like all this stuff, and like there was the one of the most famous things for Bruno was that he which Bruno, by the way, also made $140 million.
Oh wow.
And then The Dictator made $180 million. Man, Sacha Baron Cohen is a hit maker, dude. Yeah. Not to mention being one of the best dramatic actors working right
also
now.
Good in Trial, by the way, of Chicago 7, by the way.
We might be reviewing that on the show in the coming weeks. He's talking about Trial of the Chicago 7, which also came out this exact week. And which also is he the main character?
No, he's not the main character.
Okay.
I'd say Eddie Redmayne's more the main guy.
Okay. But also it's he's a marquee name in that film too, is the Trial of Chicago 7. Which we might be I can't find anywhere on here the specific amount that Amazon paid for it. But you'd have to imagine it'd be a lot. I would estimate probably maybe 100 million.
Yeah, I'd have to guess they made some dough off the movie that people
I would say they probably bought Borat for 100 million. Because if the first one's budget was 18, I'm guessing this one's budget was like 50.
Yeah, it's probably higher.
you got to pay.
Higher.
Yeah, you have to pay way higher than the budget is to buy the movie outright. And then I'm sure in the long run, Amazon is going to get a ton of money back on that investment. Just through watches, and also I'm sure merchandise. Like I'm sure that Borat Funko Pops are on the way. If they're not already coming. But yeah, I think that'll do it for our Borat 2 discussion. So we are going to move on to our last segment, which as always is the Shooting the Shit segment, which this week is just going to be a real quick one. We were going to have a show on Saturday to kind of look forward to The Mandalorian Season 2. We were going to bring back Planet Council on Saturday, but because I went back to work, we weren't able to bring it back on Saturday. So we're going to do kind of a mini look forward right now. We're literally just going to do a real quick. We're just going to pick one thing, each of us, that we are looking forward to seeing in Mandalorian Season 2. And then we will wrap up the show. And then, we will let you guys know. Right now, my schedule is just kind of fluctuating week to week. Once we can see the Mandalorian episode, as soon as we can record the episode, we will have it out for you guys. It might not be a consistent day. Yep.
By the way, sorry, real quick. We're actually going to start. Right now, we kind of just upload the YouTube stream audio to the podcast feeds. I'm going to start attempting, in the limited time I have, to try to edit the audio now down. And we're also recording using a thing in Discord. You probably heard it last week, Greg. So it records our audio in 2 different files. So it's easier to edit and mix almost. And also it's a clear audio basically than what you might hear regularly on the live show. So hopefully that'll be up at midnight. I'm going to try and get it done. If it doesn't get done, I'll probably just go until it is done and then upload it and then go to sleep. If you're not subscribed yet, go to Planet Film Podcast, anywhere you get your podcasts, Apple, Google, Absolutely. Spotify, etc.
And review us on iTunes.
And exactly.
And then also subscribe to the newly changed YouTube channel, which you're probably watching.
Which I think we gained 1 or 2 subs, if I saw correctly. I think we're up to 28 now.
Oh,
Yes.
crap.
I
All
think I
right.
checked earlier.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely, share this. Anybody that's watching right now, share it on all your socials. Share the YouTube link. Make sure you get people subscribed that want to be part of the conversation. We will let you guys know, once we get more time or we have a set schedule, whatever it might be,
Yeah.
we are going to, we're going to start, kind of doing if you guys know the John Campia model, doing the live show. We might start clipping out segments. We might clip out the review as its own segment, because we know that those shorter videos play really well for you guys. We get a lot more views on those shorter videos, so we're gonna try and work out what that is. It's gonna be a lot of work, since we're both back to
Yeah.
work, but it's going to be something that we're going to try and focus a lot more energy on, coming soon. I know I definitely am going to be trying to focus a lot more energy on that, just because I'm going to be working so much. It's going to be nice to have something to kind of distract me with. So with that, let's go ahead and just get into shooting the shit with our Mando Season 2 hopes and dreams, as we're going to call it. TJ, why don't you go ahead and go first? What is one singular thing that you are looking forward to in Mandalorian Season 2?
I am looking forward to, I think, the new characters we are going to see, whether it be Ahsoka. Is Boba confirmed for this season? Not confirmed, but was he going to be in this, or is it okay? Yeah. Maybe Boba. Ezra, no, that's not a thing, but eventually won't be in the season. I'm excited to see Giancarlo. I want to see what he's doing, what Moff Gideon's up to, and of course Mando and the child. I want to see where the child's going. Hope he doesn't talk this season. I hope he never talks.
Well, they already said that Kevin Hart has been cast as the voice.
That's a joke. That's not.
Could you imagine?
I thought you were like serious for a split second when you said that a few weeks ago. I was like, please no, not that Kevin Hart. I don't like him or anything. It's just I don't want. I don't want the child to talk at all.
Frank Oz
not even with those like Frank Oz. Okay, Frank Oz. That's an exception, but I don't want any baby noises too. I hated that in the first season. I couldn't stand when the child was like making those
I didn't like
real
that.
Life baby. I was like, please stop.
It was like,
it's not one. And I'm like, one, it's not from this world.
And two, it's 50 years old.
Exactly. So don't do that. But I'm excited, and I'm just excited to see the directors again. Obviously Favreau, which did he direct the first season? I don't think he did. Did he?
No, he wrote all of them. He wrote all of season 1. Didn't direct any. He's directing 2 episodes this season, but only wrote 6 of them. So he took off the reins of the writing a little bit, because Dave Filoni is writing a little bit more this season as well as Rick Famuyiwa is writing.
I want to see his direction too. That's the other thing I'm excited for.
Yes, I'm excited. I mean, TJ kind of took mine, but I mean, I think it's what most people are excited for. It's the new and the returning characters. I'm excited to see Bo-Katan live action, Rex, Sabine Wren. Like he said, it's looking more and more like Ezra will not be this season. I would have to assume with 100% certainty that either season 3 of this show or a spin-off show or something, we are definitely going to get live action Ezra, live action Thrawn. But it's looking more like it's not going to be this season. I am still holding out hope that Raul Cooley from iZombie and now the recent Haunting of Bly Manor, that he will be Ezra, because I think he's got the perfect look for him. And he's campaigning very hard for the role. I think
he's teased it multiple times
on Twitter. Yeah. So I just really hope that happens, because I think it's something that he knows the character. He's a great actor. He deserves the role. He would be great in the role, and he fits the role too. It's not just one of those things where it's like Miley Cyrus wants to play Black Panther. I mean, I just completely made that up. But it's like Raul Cooley is one that he absolutely would fit and nail the role of Ezra Bridger, especially if we're going to be picking up where Mandalorian, or maybe a little bit after that, Ezra's probably going to be like 35, around there. He's about 20 years younger than Ahsoka, so you figure He's probably going to be about 35, maybe like 40 at that point, which I think Raul Cooley would play perfectly. But yeah, it's those characters that I'm just excited for. So that's what we want to know this week is let us know. I will post right now. Well, maybe not right now, but definitely probably up in the next couple minutes. I just have to make the graphic up. We're going to post to our Instagram and our Twitter. Let us know, comment on Instagram and, retweet us, quote tweet us, and let us know on Twitter. What are you guys hoping for? What are you guys excited for about Mandalorian Season 2? Again, that's Instagram is planet_film_pod. And then Twitter is at Planet Film Pod. And then I am at Paste Eating Yak on Twitter.
And I'm at TJ_Cornwell.
Perfect. And with that, I think that will do it for the show. Like we said, it's going to be a little bit of a shorter show. We say that every week, but it still ended up being an hour and 40 minutes. But that is exactly how long I told TJ I was hoping it would be. It would be an hour and 40 minutes. So I think that's all for this week. And always remember, like we sign off every single week, always remember to be excellent to each other and party on, dudes. We'll catch you in the next one.